Chardon, hey, true crime fans. Welcome back to another episode of Chardon, hey, true crime. I'm your host, Dakota. With me, as always, is the lovely Kate.
That's me.
That is her. And tonight, we are going to be finishing up our two-part series on Ted Kaczynski, a.k.a. the Unabomber. Note, I said Unabomber, not Unibomber.
I thought you were going to say what we said before. I thought you were going to say AKA Teddy Boy.
Teddy boy. Good old Teddy boy. Oh, God. We have way too much fun with this shit, honestly.
We just sat down with wine. We're not even drunk.
I'm still drunk from last night. Yeah. I got out to Las Vegas last night. I brought out the first batch of my stuff for my move, and I brought out all of my books and all of my shoes and like most of my clothes. And after we unpacked my car, we just promptly got drunk. So, the way you do.
Yeah, I was going to say, sounds like Vegas living.
Yeah. So anyways, so for those of you that don't remember, between 1978 and 1995, Ted Kaczynski mailed or hand-delivered a series of increasingly sophisticated bombs that culminatively killed 3 people and injured 23 others. In all, 16 bombs were attributed to Kaczynski. And while the bombing devices varied widely throughout the years, all but the first few contained the initials FC, which Kaczynski later said stood for Freedom Club, inscribed on the inner parts of the bombs, which is really funny to me because Ted Kaczynski would never be a part of a club ever.
Yeah, right?
You just don't hear about Ted Kaczynski having friends until after he went to prison, which we will talk about his choice in friends when he's in prison at the end of the episode, because they are some interesting friends indeed.
Ed Kemper?
No. Actually, no. So it's. I'll tell you one of the friends. He became friends with Timothy McVeigh, who perpetrated the Oklahoma City bombings.
That's right. Okay. Okay. I was like, I know that name.
It's actually really interesting. He became friends with 2 bombers, and they stayed friends for a while.
Probably a coincidence.
Yeah. So, the 3 of them, do you think the 3 of those guys had a funny, they were the Freedom Club. That's it. He was building his Freedom Club before he even knew that he was going to become friends with bombers.
Just, wow. You know what? You know how I feel about this club? This club is really just the bomb.
Wow. Okay, that's it. Good night, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. It's over.
And we're retiring.
Yeah, I'm retiring for sure. So anyways, Kaczynski purposely left misleading clues in the devices and took extreme care in preparing them to avoid leaving fingerprints. Latent fingerprints on some of the devices did not match those found on the letters that were attributed to Kaczynski. Hi, Thomas.
Hi, Thomas.
Now, the initial 1978 bombing was followed by bombs sent to airline officials, and in 1979, a bomb was placed in the cargo hold of American Airlines Flight 444, a Boeing 727 flying from Chicago to Washington, D.C. A faulty timing mechanism prevented the bomb from exploding, but it released smoke, which forced an emergency landing. Now, authorities have said that it had enough power to obliterate the plane had it exploded. And as bombing an airliner is a federal crime, the FBI became involved, designating the case Unabomb for University and Airline Bomber. So that's how the FBI ended up getting involved with the Unabomber case.
Interesting. See, I knew about the failed plane bomb. I did actually know about the plane bomb.
Yeah. It's one of his more famous ones, even though it was a failure.
Maybe that's why it's famous, because like with how sophisticated all of his stuff was, it's like worth talking about that he had one that failed. I don't know.
There's actually 2 that failed.
Wow, what a loser.
I know, right? 2 of 16 failed.
Wow, he must be so embarrassed.
I would be if I was him. Now, Kaczynski did leave false clues in every bomb, which he made hard to find to make them believable. The first clue was a metal plate stamped with the initials FC, hidden somewhere, usually in the pipe end cap in every bomb. So the pipes. So it would be a pipe bomb, and then they would have like the caps on the ends of the pipe, right? Like that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And so FC would be stamped on the cap.
Got it.
Yeah. Now, another clue included a note left in a bomb that did not detonate, and it read, "Woo, it works. I told you it would. RV." I don't know what RV is supposed to stand for. I really don't. Revolutionary I don't know.
Recreational vehicle?
Yeah, that's probably it. He was calling himself a recreational vehicle. If the recreation is bombings and chaos.
Would this be considered mayhem? You remember when we tried to figure out like exactly what qualified as mayhem?
Yeah, I don't know. I think this is terrorism, not quite mayhem.
Yeah, because mayhem is probably like more like an indirect thing. Like,
yeah,
we need more mayhem.
mayhem. Well, I mean, we did cover Bergeron and mayhem, so yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
But anyways, another clue was the Eugene O'Neill $1 stamps used to send his boxes. He sent one bomb embedded in a copy of Sloan Wilson's novel, Ice Brothers. It's so weird. Now, the FBI theorized that Kaczynski had a theme of nature, trees, and wood in his crimes. He often included bits of tree branch and bark in his bomb, and target selected included Percy Woods and Professor Leroy Wood. So he would target like people with the name Wood, and he would include pieces of wood in his bombs.
So he just liked a good tree theme.
Yeah. Well, remember, he was mad because they were like imposing in nature, but you know.
Oh yeah. Oh man. Can you imagine if Oliver Wood had gotten involved in this shit?
Oliver Wood from Harry Potter.
He would have just like beat the shit out of the guy with his like fucking stick.
With his bludger bat.
Yeah.
I mean, even though the Weasleys were the bludgers, but you know, it's fine.
He was the captain. He knew how to do all of the stuff.
He could beat the shit out of anyone with a bludger.
Exactly. Yeah, that was exactly my point.
He definitely did it to Flint a couple of times in the books. But anyways, so crime writer Robert Graysmith noted that his obsession with wood was a large factor. And the first serious injury occurred in 1985 when John Hauser, a graduate student and captain in the United States Air Force, lost 4 fingers and vision in one eye. The bomb, like the others of Kaczynski's, was handcrafted and made with wooden parts. Hugh Scruton, a 38-year-old Sacramento, California computer store owner, was killed in 1985 by a nail and splinter-loaded bomb placed in the parking lot of his store. Ugh.
Yikes.
So bad. A similar attack against a computer store took place in Salt Lake City, Utah on February 20th, 1987, and the bomb, which was disguised as a piece of lumber, injured Gary Wright when he attempted to remove it from the store's parking lot. The explosion severed nerves in Wright's left arm and propelled more than 200 pieces of shrapnel into his body. And Kaczynski was actually spotted while planting the Salt Lake City bomb, which led to the widely distributed sketch of the suspect as a hooded man with a mustache and aviator sunglasses. Now, we did show that sketch in the last episode. Unfortunately, I don't have a second monitor with me tonight, so I can't show a sketch of again. But if you watch our last episode, you can see it.
Yeah, and you probably already have seen it because like I like saw it, like I thought that I had never seen it, but then like when we showed it, I was like, oh, probably have seen it because it looked very familiar.
And if you do want to see the sketch, I will post it on our Instagram, Chardonnay True Crime. I will post it on our Facebook group. And yeah, I'll make it available, or I'll post it on our Facebook page as well. So I will make it available to see. I just can't show it on screen tonight.
Oh,
you okay?
Yeah, my eye is super itchy for some reason.
Yeah, I noticed. You want to take a second?
I don't have my Visine, and my Visine was the bad stuff anyway.
Oh yeah, so you don't. So I found a bottle of that Visine with the redness stuff in it, and I decided to try it out myself, and it made my eyes feel like they were swollen. It was horrible.
Ew, that's bad.
It's not good. It isn't good for you.
Here, I'll just put some Benadryl cream on my eye. That's safe, right?
Good idea. Perfect.
Ugh.
Are you actually putting Benadryl cream on your eye?
No, I'm not actually putting Benadryl cream on my eye.
Well, I thought you were doing it on your eyelid.
Why would I actually put Benadryl on or near my eye?
Yeah, I thought it was being put on your eyelid.
Yeah, no, I'm just like holding my eye closed to like help it like water a little bit more.
All right, just close your eyes for like a second. It's okay. We can take a minute for you to take care of yourself.
I guess.
Well, while Kate is doing that, I'm going to take a moment to remind everyone, if you haven't already checked out our Patreon, make sure you go check it out. It's patreon.com/ChardonHayTC. That's ChardonHaayTC. Also, don't forget, we have stickers. I don't have one with me to show you, but we have stickers, and you can purchase those through my Venmo. And that is Venmo at Dakota's Beard. Stickers are $7, and I will send them out to you as soon as possible. Just make sure you say sticker in the memo, send me a message, and I will get that sticker sent out to you as quickly as possible. They're great, especially since the holidays are coming up. So they are the perfect present for any true crime fan in your life. Give them the present of our sticker and spread the knowledge of the show, because we would love to get more people who are interested in true crime checking out the show. Also, don't forget, you can listen to our show on Spotify. You can listen to it on Apple Podcasts. You can listen to it on Anchor. You can listen to it anywhere that you listen to podcasts. So make sure you check out our show, Chardonnay True Crime, on the podcast. All right, Kate, you good?
I think so. I just put like some cold water on my eye.
Well, hopefully that works. Well, let's get back into it. So, in 1993, after a 6-year break, Kaczynski mailed a bomb to David Gelernter. Anyways,
I think it's Gelernter.
Gelernter. It just sounds like we're making fun of his last name.
Yeah, that is not a fortunate last name.
It honestly just sounds like we're making fun of his last name, but I promise we are not. His name is David Gelernter, a computer scientist professor at Yale University. And though he was critically injured, he did recover. And in the same weekend, Kaczynski mailed a bomb to the home of Charles Epstein from the University of California, San Francisco, who lost several fingers upon opening it. Kaczynski then called Gelernter's brother Joel Gelernter, a behavioral geneticist, and told him, "You are next." Geneticist Philip Sharp at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, MIT, received a threatening letter 2 years later. In 1994, Burson Marsteller executive Thomas J. Mosser was killed by a mail bomb sent to his home in North Caldwell, New Jersey. In another letter to the New York Times, Kaczynski said he blew up Thomas Mosser because Burson Marsteller helped Exxon clean up its public image after the Exxon Valdez incident, and more importantly, because its business is the development of techniques for manipulating people's attitudes. Ugh.
Ugh.
So, for those of you who aren't familiar with the Exxon Valdez incident, that was the Exxon Valdez oil spill that happened in Alaska in 1989 when Exxon Valdez, an oil tanker which was owned by the Exxon Shipping Company, that struck Prince William Sound's Bligh Reef about 1.5 miles west of Alaska and spilled 10.8 million gallons of crude oil.
God.
Yeah, it was considered one of the worst oil spills worldwide in terms of damage to the environment. Yeah, it was a really bad oil spill in the late 80s. It was just, I mean, if you look at the like pictures of the like aftermath of that, it's terrible.
I bet. Oh, you know what? I know why my eye is so itchy. Because I
Why?
had my guinea pig today.
Oh, that makes sense. Take an allergy pill?
I'll take one after the show. Otherwise, I'll fall asleep on camera, and that'll be a little embarrassing.
Yeah, might be. All right, so this was followed by the 1995 murder of Gilbert Brent Murray, president of the timber industry lobbying group California Forestry Association, by a mail bomb addressed to previous President William Dennison, who had retired. In 1995, Kaczynski mailed several letters to media outlets outlining his goals, demanding that his 35,000-word essay, Industrial Society and Its Future, which has henceforth been dubbed the Unabomber Manifesto by the FBI, to be printed verbatim in a major newspaper. He stated that if this demand was met, he would desist from terrorism. Now, there was controversy as to whether the essay should be published, but Attorney General Janet Reno and FBI Director Louis Freeh recommended its publication out of concern for public safety and in hope that a reader could identify the author. Now, interestingly, this is something that like really surprised me, and it still does when it comes to this case, is Bob Gushoni of Penthouse volunteered to publish it. Yeah. Penthouse magazine was like, we want there to stop being terrorism. We'll publish it. And good old Teddy boy was like, no, I don't want Penthouse to publish it. I want someone bigger, like the New York Times or the Washington Post.
Just, bruh, do you know how many people fucking read Penthouse?
More people read Penthouse than read the New York Times or the Washington Post, my dude. I'm willing to bet more people read Penthouse than they read the Washington Post and the New York Times combined. Like, I would willingly put money on that.
It's just because you're in Vegas.
It's because I understand the smut industry. More people are interested in smut than they are in, the topical situations. I don't know.
Yeah, it's almost like it's like an escape from, you know, the real world and all of the problems that go on in it, and you know, it's entertaining, and the news and like current events can be taxing and exhausting.
Yeah. Like, what about that? Ted?
I definitely read way more fan fiction than I read newspapers.
Yeah. I used to write way more fan fiction than I wrote true crime stuff, but you know, that's kind of changed over the years. Luckily, I have never been the person to write fan fiction about true crime, though. Are you okay?
Yeah, that just went down exactly wrong.
You good?
I'm having a night over here, apparently.
Apparently. Good God, woman, get it together.
I'm so fucking sorry.
You should be. Okay. No, have you seen those girls on like Tumblr who like write fan fiction about like Dylan Roof and like the guys, the Columbine shooters and stuff?
I know they exist, but I have very fortunately been able to avoid that corner of Tumblr, aside from like actively seeking it out.
I've never read any of it, for the record. I know that it exists, and I've seen the like fan edits that these girls do of the idiots who did Columbine, and I'm just like, this is disgusting. One girl even dressed up like one of the Columbine shooters at school one day. She like made an outfit of one of their outfits. She like made like, oh God, which idiot was it? I think
Does it matter?
It was Eric that wore the shirt that said like natural born killers or something like that. And like it was a hand drawn one. So she found like pictures of the shirt that he'd worn, and then like from the pictures made her own shirt and then wore it to school one day. And I was just like, how is that not like domestic terrorism? Because I feel like that's domestic terrorism.
Yeah, that's oh, that is, wow, that is a big yikey.
It sure is.
I need a sip for that one.
Anyways, let's get back into Kaczynski.
Teddy boy.
I don't think anyone's ever written fan fiction about Teddy Boy.
Don't put that out there.
Shit, you're right. So
there we go. Knock on wood.
Kaczynski did actually reply that Penthouse was less respectable than the New York Times and the Washington Post, and said that to increase our chances of getting our stuff published in some respectable periodical, he would reserve the right to plant one and only one bomb intended to kill after our manuscript has been published, if Penthouse published the document instead of the New York Times or the Post. And that was enough to make the Washington Post fold, and they were like, fuck it, fine, we'll post it. So the Washington Post published the essay on September 19th, 1995, which coincidentally is my little brother's birthday, but in 2002.
Talk Like a Pirate Day. This was this was just a few weeks after I was born.
Did I ever tell you that I randomly like became friends with the Talk Like a Pirate guys?
Yep.
Yeah. Just like through Facebook. I like found out who they were, found them on Facebook, sent them friend requests, and now I'm friends with them. And well, like I actually talked to one of them.
Well, that's a fun thing to have under your belt.
Yeah. Nice guy. Really nice guy. It was the one that was on the episode of Wife Swap.
I can say with extreme confidence that I have never seen a single episode of Wife Swap.
Oh, I used to love that shit. Gilbert Gottfried was on an episode with his wife. It was hilarious. I'll find that on YouTube and send it to you. It's so fucking funny.
Oh boy.
Yeah. It's hilarious because like it's celebrity wife swap, but it's like D-list celebrities like Gilbert Gottfried.
Yeah.
Gilbert Gottfried and Alan Thicke. Alan Thicke's wife.
I can't remember who Alan Thicke is.
He was on How I Met Your Mother. He played Alan Thicke. He was like a guy that like knew Robin Sparkles. He was on. Oh God, it's fine. I think he's the dad of Robin Thicke, which is unfortunate.
Oh, that's what an unfortunate legacy.
I just said unfortunate. But anyways, the industrial society and its future begins with Kaczynski's assertion the Industrial Revolution and its consequences have been a disaster for the human race. He writes that technology has a destabilizing effect on society, has made life unfulfilling, and has caused widespread psychological suffering. Honestly, not entirely wrong. Not entirely wrong.
I will give him that. A very valid point is being made there.
He's just going about it the whole wrong way, bro. The whole wrong way. Now, he argues that most people spend their time engaged in useless pursuits because of technological, bleh, if I could word, because, all right, I'm going to start that one over. He argues that most people, stop. He argues that most people spend their time engaged in useless pursuits because of technological advances. He calls these surrogate activities, wherein people strive towards artificial goals, including scientific work, consumption of entertainment, political activism, and following sports teams.
Okay, so...
Which is really funny considering he considers himself to be a political activist of sorts.
Yeah, so like on the one hand, it's like I get the point that he's making, but at the same time, it's also just like he doesn't want people to engage in anything that's in any way enjoyable.
Pretty much.
It's like if you aren't just like waking up, eating, building a house, building a fucking house every day, and then going to sleep, and then like just doing that all every single day, like you're wasting your life or something. Like,
yeah. Well, don't forget, he's also like hella obsessed with math. He's got a PhD in math.
Yeah, I don't understand that. Don't
get me wrong. I have a friend who like literally fills notebooks with math. Like, that was all he would do until he like finally started to open up and be like a little more friendly. And you know who I'm talking about, Kate. I'm just not going to say names on this show.
I might know who I think I know who you're talking about, but I'm not wholly confident.
He's blonde.
Okay, I'm more confident that I know who you're talking about.
Yeah. But he's not crazy about math, you know?
It was just like a thing that he was doing.
Yeah.
It's like math is one of those things like it's like I don't have an issue with people who like math or are good at math, but like
no.
I don't understand like I don't understand how somebody can like pursue like a degree in math, because it just feels like it just doesn't really feel like you can do anything with that except more math.
It's like getting a degree in I don't know, in like what's something else that you would only be able to do?
I don't know, because like I feel like for almost everything else,
it's like getting a degree in philosophy.
That's valid. But like for most things that you can get a degree in, it seems like I know math is everywhere.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
But, like,
I'm about to do math after we finish this show because I have to figure out where I'm going to put all my friggin' furniture in this room.
Yeah, so like math like is involved in every part of this world in some way, shape, or form. But like I feel like everything, like pretty much everything else that you can get a degree in, it's like you can apply what you've learned and like figured out with that to other things.
Yeah, absolutely.
But if you're like just pursuing a degree in math, where are you going with that?
Well, like, and with Ted, the dissertation that he wrote was, as you remember, it was only able to be understood by like 12 people in the country.
Yeah.
What is that about?
And like, again, I do not have any issue with people who do this. Like I am not saying this from a place of judgment. I genuinely do not understand. So if there is anybody,
where are you going to go with that degree?
Yeah. So like, if there is anybody who like has any idea of this or is even like actively pursuing a degree in math who would like to clear this up, I am more than happy to like
send us an email at chardonnaytruecrime@gmail.com. That's CHARDONHAAAY truecrime@gmail.com. We really do want to understand what it is people do when they pursue a degree in math.
Yes, very, very genuinely curious.
We're very curious about that. So let us know. But let's get back to the episode. He further predicts that further technological advances will lead to the excessive human genetic engineering, and human beings will be adjusted to meet the needs of the social systems rather than vice versa. He believes that technological progress can be stopped, unlike people who say that understand. Sorry, I'm going to restart that sentence. He believes that technological progress can be stopped, unlike people who he says understand technology's negative effects, yet passively accept it as inevitable. He calls for a return to wild nature. Kaczynski argues that the erosion of the system has not fully achieved control over human behavior and is currently engaged in a desperate struggle to overcome certain problems that threaten its survival. He predicts that if the system succeeds in acquiring sufficient control over human behavior quickly enough, it will probably survive. Otherwise, it will break down, and that the issue will most likely be resolved within the next several decades, say 40 to 100 years. Now, there's actually a really interesting thing that I've noticed going around on the internet that says that civilization takes about 250 to 255 years to break down, and we're basically on year 245.
Let's start over, for the love of God.
I think that that's what Kaczynski was going for, honestly.
Honestly, I'm not mad about the idea.
Even if he's still alive, he may even see the downfall of human civilization.
And he'll just be like, didn't I fucking tell you guys?
What did I fucking say?
Called it!
Kaczynski inside of the like prison that he's at just fucking called it.
Just see, I knew I was right, but does anyone listen to me? No.
Kaczynski to his jailers, just hey, you see how civilization is like failing? You see that? Do you see how that's happening right now? See it?
He's been saying it for like 4 years, like every other day, and they're just like, yeah, Ted, we see it.
I called it.
Yeah, we know, Ted.
I called it.
We know you did, Ted.
All right, as long as you know.
That just made me think of that Vine. Like, does anyone here want to talk about their feelings? I do. I know, Bill. I'm sad. I know, Bill.
It just makes me think of like, you know, just Ted being a jerk in like How I Met Your Mother.
Oh, fuck Ted Mosby.
Fucking Ted Mosby. We hate that guy.
We really need to write that movie.
The one where Ted Mosby gets destroyed.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
he can only be played by Josh Radnor.
Yep. I'm pretty sure Josh Radnor would do it too. That guy's all about indie films. He's all about indie films.
That's true. That is very true.
Mm-hmm. But anyways, he also states that the task of those who oppose industrial society is to promote social stress and instability and to propagate an ideology that opposes technology, one that offers the counter ideal of nature in order to gain enthusiastic support. A revolution against technology may be possible when industrial society is sufficiently unstable. A significant portion of the document is dedicated to discussing left-wing politics, and Kaczynski says that the problems of our society, the problems of our troubled society are particularly manifest in modern leftism. He defines leftists as mainly socialist, collectivists, politically correct types, feminists, gay and disability activists, animal activists, and the likes. States that leftism is driven primarily by feelings of inferiority or over-socialization and derides leftism as one of the most widespread manifestations of craziness of our world.
Wow, he's just like coming for my entire life right now.
Yeah, same. Cheers to Ted Kaczynski, who we know will hate us. Let's make sure to include a pride sticker in the letter that we send him. Don't forget, you can check out the letter on our Patreon, patreon.com/ChardonnayTC. That's CHARDONHAAAYTC. Where we will be continuing our series, Write a Serial Killer. Once I am able to buy a P.O. box in Las Vegas, because I don't want any of these fucking people to find out my real address.
Hopefully it's cheaper in Vegas, because like
yeah, I think so. But I mean, even if I can't find a P.O. box in Vegas, Dr. Vitka did offer up his address for a go-between.
That's true. We appreciate Dr. Vitka for that.
We do appreciate Dr. Vitka. And we love Dr. Vitka. Please make sure you check out Spellbound Tours in Salem, because they are amazing and we love Dr. Vitka. And we need to have him back on the show sometime soon.
I agree. I enjoy his energy.
Yeah, me too. I miss Vitka. I just want to like talk sideshow and like aliens with him all the time. And now that I'm living in Vegas, I can do that. Well, technically, I don't move to Vegas until January 11th, but, you know, this is my home. So.
There you go.
Yeah. No,
it's just a matter of getting all your stuff there.
I was talking about the size of my room last night, and I said, oh, it's bigger than my room at home. And my dad went, this is your home. And I was just like, oh, fuck, you right.
Tears, just like, you're right.
Oh my God, you're right. No, I remember that really awesome bookshelf that I showed you that I want to get.
Vaguely.
It's like the cool kind of like weirdly aesthetic looking one that I was like, I need this.
Okay, yeah, that sounds familiar.
Yeah, so there's a fucking like little shelf in the garage that looks very similar to that, and I was just like, and my dad was like, oh, we have all kinds of stuff in the garage if you want it. And I was just like, well, I saw this like little shelf thing. And he was just like, oh yeah, I kind of figured you'd want that. And I was just like, yes.
Come through, Brian.
Yes. But anyways, Kaczynski also stated that the task of the No, I already read that part. Sorry. He additionally states that a movement that exalts nature and opposes technology must take a resolutely anti-leftist stance and must avoid all collaboration with leftists. As in his view, leftism is the most long-running, inconsistent with wild nature, with human freedom, and with the elimination of modern technology. Obviously, this dude doesn't know what leftists are like today because they're all fucking hippies who are growing plants and being like down with everything else.
Yeah, except for all of those like Instagram posts where they're like, "Look at how simple my life is."
Yeah,
it's very contradictory.
It really is. But anyways, he also criticizes conservatives, describing them as fools who whine about the decay of traditional values, yet they enthusiastically support technological progress and economic growth. After the manifesto was published, the FBI received over 1,000 calls a day for months in response to its offer of a $1 million reward for information leading to the identification of the Unabomber. Many letters claiming to be from the Unabomber were also sent to the Unabomb task force, and thousands of suspect leads were reviewed. While the FBI was occupied with new leads, Kaczynski's brother David hired private investigator Susan Swanson in Chicago to investigate Ted's activities discreetly. Now, David had actually, once he read the manifesto, he and his wife recognized a lot of the terminology that was used because Ted had written them letters stating a lot of the same things that were stated in the manifesto.
Wow, what a dumbass.
Yeah, he kind of was. But in a weird way, Kaczynski was sort of, what's the word I'm looking for? Sentimental? He was sort of sentimental because he still stayed in contact with his brother and his wife.
Well,
David's wife, for the record. Ted Kaczynski has never been married.
No one's gonna marry old sour milk smelling boy.
I'm sure that's why his one girlfriend who kissed him that one time was just sort of like, yeah, no, thank you.
I thought this might go away, but it's not. So
maybe if you had a date, you would take a shower, but you didn't. So yeah.
Bye. Oh, I feel like my eye is swollen.
That's a symptom of COVID, right?
I think it's just an allergic reaction, but no, I didn't know that.
Oh my God, wine just came out of my nose a little bit. That was painful. Ow, my sinus.
Instant karma.
My friend Tommy's texting me right now. He's all sad that I'm moving to Vegas, and he's like, "When are you leaving?" And I said January 11th, and he was like, "No, you can't leave." I'm like, "I'm sorry, Tommy. I'm sorry." But anyway, are you okay?
Yeah. How are you?
Little drunk. Okay. Because all I've had to eat today is 2 pieces of pizza.
You gotta eat, damn it.
I also ate 2 pieces of stuffed bread.
Was that just more pizza?
No. It was it's how Domino's has that stuffed cheese bread?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I ate 2 pieces of that. It was the feta and spinach stuffed bread, and I was just like, ooh, fuck yeah.
I guess right now I don't really have any place to talk. All I've eaten today was a bagel and some strawberry Milano cookies.
I have a thing of pretzels. Wow. I have a thing of Oreos in my purse that I'm planning on eating after the show.
Nice.
Yeah.
I got my strawberry Milano and my strawberry Milano.
Hey! All right. So David later hired Washington, D.C. Tony Biskelge to organize the evidence acquired by Swanson and make contact with the FBI, given the presumed difficulty of attracting the FBI's attention. David wanted to protect his brother from the danger of an FBI raid, such as the Ruby Ridge or the Waco siege, since he had feared a violent outcome from any attempt by the FBI to contact his brother. So,
because we all know how well those went down.
Waco and Ruby Ridge were rough, and if you don't remember our us covering Ruby Ridge, that was in our Waco episodes. So feel free to go back and watch those, because there was a lot of information about Ruby Ridge in, I think, part 1, I want to say, or part in one of them.
Just watch both parts and learn the whole story.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. So anyways, so in early 1996, former FBI hostage negotiator and criminal profiler Clinton R. Van Zandt was contacted by an investigator working with Biskelge. Biskelge asked Van Zandt to compare the manifesto to typewritten copies of handwritten letters David had received from his brother. Van Zandt's initial analysis determined that there was better than a 60% chance that the same person had written the manifesto, which had been in public circulation for half a year. Van Zandt's second analytical team determined an even higher likelihood, and he recommended that the client immediately contact the FBI. In February 1996, Biskelge gave a copy of the 1971 essay written by Ted Kaczynski to Molly Flynn at the FBI. She forwarded the essay to San Francisco-based task force FBI profiler James R. Fitzgerald, who recognized similarities in the writings using linguistic analysis and determined that the author of the essays and the manifesto were almost certainly the same. Combined with the facts gleaned from the bombings and Kaczynski's life, the analysis provided the basis for a search warrant signed by Terry Turchi, the head of the entire investigation. David Kaczynski had tried to remain anonymous, but he was soon identified, and within a few days, an FBI team was dispatched to interview David and his wife with their attorney in Washington, D.C. At this and subsequent meetings, David provided letters written by his brother in their original envelopes, allowing the FBI task force to use the postmark dates to add more details to their timeline of Ted's activities. David developed a respectful relationship with behavioral analyst Special Agent Kathleen M. Puckett, whom he met several times in Washington, D.C., Texas, Chicago, and Schenectady, New York, over the next 2 months before the federal search warrant was served on Kaczynski's cabin. David had once admired and emulated his older brother, but later decided to leave the survivalist lifestyle behind. He had received assurances from the FBI that he would remain anonymous and that his brother would not learn who turned him in, but his identity was leaked to CBS News in early April 1996. God, can you imagine? Poor David. Like, he's trying to do the right thing. He's trying to help. And they're like, yeah, you're going to be totally anonymous. We promise. No one is going to find out it was you. And he's like, all right, fine. Like, it was my brother. And they're like, LOL, guys, guess what? Hey, CBS, you want to know who it was? It was the brother.
And then Ted was just like, ew, David.
Ew, David. David.
Look at you cleaning your mirror. How uncharacteristically domesticated of you.
Hold in the cheese. Hold it in, David.
Oh my God. I fell back asleep watching Schitt's Creek last night, and I had like a really weird Schitt's Creek dream.
Did it have to do with Ted Kaczynski?
No, thankfully, no.
All right. So anyways, CBS anchorman Dan Rather called FBI Director Louis Freeh, who requested 24 hours before CBS broke the story on the evening news. The FBI scrambled to finish the search warrant and have it issued by a federal judge in Montana afterwards. An internal leak investigation was concluded by the FBI, but the source of the leak was never identified. FBI officials were not unanimous in identifying Ted as the author of the manifesto. The search warrant noted that numerous experts believe the manifesto had been written by another individual. But FBI agents arrested Kaczynski on April 3rd, 1996, at his cabin, where he was found in an unkempt state. A search of his cabin revealed a cache of bomb components, 40,000 handwritten journal pages that included bomb-making experiments, descriptions of the Unabomber crimes, and one live bomb ready for mailing. They also found what appeared to be the original typed manuscript of the Industrial Society and its future. By this point, the Unabomber had been the target of the most expensive investigation in FBI history. Now, after his capture, theories actually emerged naming Ted Kaczynski as the Zodiac Killer. Among the links that raised suspicion was the fact that Kaczynski lived in the San Francisco Bay Area from 1967 to 1969, which, as we all know, was the same period that most of the Zodiac's confirmed killings occurred in California, and that both individuals were highly intelligent with an interest in bombs and codes, and that both wrote letters to newspapers demanding the publication of their works with the threat of continued violence if the demands were not met. However, Kaczynski's whereabouts could not be verified for all of the killings, and the gun and knife murders committed by the Zodiac Killer differ from Kaczynski's bombings, so he was not further pursued as a suspect. Robert Graysmith, author of the 1986 book Zodiac, said the similarities are fascinating, but purely coincidental. It's kind of like how, there's all those killings that are going on up in Oregon with the fucking Green River Killer. While similar killings are happening just under the border, there's a lot of killings that are happening around that time. Like, there's so many killings that are happening around that time.
Serial killers just were thriving at this point.
I want to do an episode about the theory that lead gas had a hand in serial killers in this time period. I want to do an episode about that for our Patreon, because that is a really interesting theory.
Well, that sounds interesting. That definitely sounds interesting.
It's one that I'm starting to believe in more and more.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, that mixed with head injuries and stuff. But if you think about it, the 1960s and 70s, that was the most number of cars on the road, and they were using lead gas. And lead in the system, people were breathing that in and everything. In the 70s, there was a huge pollution epidemic, and this is before unleaded gas was a thing. Everybody used leaded gas, and everyone was breathing in pollution. It was so bad in LA in the 70s that there would be smog warnings.
Oh, damn.
The smog was so bad, you couldn't see 3 feet in front of your car.
Yikes.
Yeah, that is a real thing that happened in the 70s.
I've seen that happen with fog, but not smog.
Smog. That happened with smog in the 70s. I was talking to my stepdad about it, and I was like, well, because he had some people over recording an album, and he was like, hey, do you still have that Charles Manson thing? And then we all started talking about serial killers, and I was like, well, if you think about it, lead gas in the 70s, that's a good reason why there were so many serial killers in the 60s and 70s. And they were like, what do you mean? And so I started talking about it, and they had never heard that smog had been such a problem in the 70s. Yeah, and Trump, as president, took out those environmental laws to make sure that that sort of thing didn't happen again. I'm really hoping that Biden, when he's sworn in, will put those laws back into place, because that is the last thing that we need.
Dude, seriously. We got
Seriously.
enough going on with this fucking planet as it is.
Like, we need more serial killers. Come on, man.
Honestly. Everyone's angry enough.
I've had highly elevated lead issues in my life. It is not a good time. It is not a fun time. So anyways, we, however, know that the real perpetrator of the Zodiac crimes was Ted Cruz. I've been waiting all episode to make that joke.
I was waiting for like the lull after you mentioned the Zodiac killer. I was like, so Ted Kaczynski and Ted Cruz. Oh, that's why that's another reason they thought it was him, because it's two Teds, you know, it's easy to mix them up.
Ted Kaczynski. That was too easy to do.
That was good. That was good.
Ted Kaczynski. All right. Anyways, the early hunt for the Unabomber portrayed the perpetrator far different from the eventual suspect. Industrial society and its future consistently uses we and our throughout. And at one point in 1993, investigators thought an individual whose first name was Nathan, because the name was imprinted on the envelope of a letter sent to the media. And when the case was presented to the public, authorities denied that there was ever anyone other than Kaczynski involved in the crimes.
You almost said Kaczynski.
What?
You almost said Kaczynski again.
Yeah, I almost did. Listen, I've had a lot of wine, and I'm trying a new wine tonight. So I'm in Vegas, and before I went to Vegas, I forgot to buy my usual bottle of wine at Vaughn's, and they don't have Vaughn's in Las Vegas.
That's so weird to me.
I know, right? So they don't have Vaughn's in Las Vegas, but I found this like discount liquor store, and I, of course, because I found a discount liquor store, and they have the option to have a rewards card. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna get a rewards card. Listen, if I get rewards for buying wine once a week, then I get rewards for buying wine once a week. However, I got this bottle of Chardonnay, and it's called Josh Cellars.
Oh, I've seen that.
Yeah, it's actually really nice.
I've seen that at Target.
It's really good. It was only $10.
That's not too bad.
Yeah, I know, right? My usual bottle's only $5, but this wasn't bad. And it was what they had refrigerated. They had more stuff that was cheaper. They actually had my favorite Chardonnay for less than $20, which I was really surprised about. I was like, oh shit, like I'm gonna have to come back here.
Well, there you go.
Yeah. But anyways, so it says, our Chardonnay is a great balance of bright citrus and honey with a touch of oak and hints of juicy peach. Crafted with care so that no single flavor overpowers another, this wine is simply delicious. And you know what? I have to say, it is simply delicious. And it is a California wine.
Taste of home.
Especially since I'm going to be moving here on the 11th of January.
That's just right after your birthday.
Yeah, that's the plan, is a week after my birthday.
Oh my god.
So anyways, a federal grand jury indicted Kaczynski on April 1996 of 10 counts of illegally transporting, mailing, and using bombs and 3 counts of murder. Kaczynski's lawyers, headed by Montana federal public defenders Michael Donahue and Judy Clark, attempt to enter an insanity defense in order to avoid the death penalty, but Ted Kaczynski rejected this strategy. On January 8th, 1998, so like 2 days after my 5th birthday, 98, 6th birthday, 6th, I was born in 96.
You were not born in 96.
Born in 92. I was born in 92.
God damn it! I always do that.
What?
I always get your birth year wrong. I always think that you were born in 1993. but you're a year
No,
older
92.
than my brother.
92. No, so I was born in 92. And so it was 2 days after my 6th birthday. So at this point, I think I'm living in New Orleans when this is happening. Actually, yeah, I am definitely living in New Orleans at this point because, yeah, I moved there when I was 3. But he requested to dismiss his lawyers and hire Tony Serrera as his counsel. Serrera had agreed to not use an insanity defense and instead base a defense on Kaczynski's anti-technology views. This result was unsuccessful as Kaczynski subsequently tried to commit suicide by hanging on January 9th, and Dr. Sally Johnson, the psychiatrist who examined Theodore Kaczynski, concluded that he suffered from paranoid schizophrenia and paranoid personality disorder. Forensic psychiatrist Park Dietz said that Kaczynski was not psychotic, but had a schizoid or schizotypal personality disorder. And in his 2010 book, Technological Slavery, Kaczynski said that 2 prison psychologists who frequently visited him for 4 years told him that they saw no indication that he suffered from paranoid schizophrenia and that the diagnosis was ridiculous and a political diagnosis. On January 21st, 1998, Kaczynski was declared competent to stand trial despite the psychiatric diagnosis. And as he was fit to stand trial, the prosecutors sought the death penalty, but Kaczynski avoided that by pleading guilty to all charges on January 22nd, 1998, and accepting life imprisonment without the possibility of parole. He later tried to withdraw this plea, arguing that it was involuntary, and Judge Garland Ellis Burrell Jr. denied his request, and the United States Court of Appeals for the Ninth Circuit upheld that decision. Ted Kaczynski,
What a name!
I know, right? That's why I was like, wait a minute.
Like
I had to say it right because I almost said what I almost said was Judge Garland Ellis Burrell, but it's Burrell.
See, it's funny, like reading that, like obviously I know it says judge, but I like my brain immediately auto-corrected to Judy Garland Ellis Burrell Jr.
Oh my God. Right? So I almost did that too. Now, Kaczynski is serving 8 life sentences without the possibility of parole at ADX Florence, a supermax prison in Florence, Colorado. When asked in 1999 if he was afraid of losing his mind in prison, Kaczynski replied, "No, what worries me is I might, in a sense, adapt to this environment and come to be comfortable here and not resent it anymore. And I am afraid that as the years go by, that I may forget. I may begin to lose my memories of the mountains and the woods, and that's what really worries me, that I might lose those memories and lose that sense of contact with wild nature in general. But I am not afraid they are going to break my spirits." What a hippie.
Seriously, like, ooh.
God, he's
So
like so
deep.
against like the leftists and everything, but like, bruh, you are a hippie.
Seriously.
Hippie.
Take a bath, hippie.
Hippie. Seriously, Ted Kaczynski is the one person that we can say, take a fucking bath to. Him and like Henry Lee Lucas so far are the grossest serial killers that we've covered because they yucky. They a whole yucky.
They yucky, they stinky, they drippy.
They ugh. I hate that he's like the drippy one, but he is. I hate it so much.
It's so gross.
Yucky.
Yucko.
Now, in 2016, it was reported that early on in his imprisonment, Kaczynski had befriended Ramzi Youssef and Timothy McVeigh, the perpetrators of the 1993 World Trade Center bombing and the Oklahoma City bombing, respectively. Now, I did talk about a little bit at the top of the episode. We are working on episodes for each of these perpetrators. I'm currently doing research on Oklahoma City as we speak. And I really want to cover the 1993 world bombing, the World Trade Center bombing. I do want to cover 9/11 at some point. I do. but that is going to be a long episode. That's going to be a hard one to do.
Yeah, because like that's one that like I'm pretty confident like we both remember.
Oh yeah. Oh, I remember when 9/11 happened. Absolutely. I was in 4th grade.
Yeah,
I remember.
I very distinctly remember like my parents kept us home that day.
I wasn't kept home. I don't think. I don't know. I'll have to ask my mom about that. But I remember 9/11. But 9/11 episode, it's going to at least be 4 parts.
One entire part is just going to be on how it's George Bush's fault.
One entire part is just going to be on like George Bush because I hate that guy. But you know.
But we'll cross that bridge when we get to it.
We will indeed. Yeah. So, anyways, we're holding off on some of these longer episodes because, like, Jonestown is going to be at least 6 parts. I'm holding off on Jonestown because I cannot fit that into 2 parts, and I want to hold off until we're ready to do a 6-part episode.
Let's get through the holidays and like just through like this is a real crazy and stressful part of the year. Let's wait till things calm down.
Exactly. And as a reminder, we are going to be taking a break in December to give us time to celebrate the holidays with our families and for me to officially and fully move over to Las Vegas, you know. So we are going to be taking a break. We'll post those dates when it comes up. But anyways, the trio of Ted Kaczynski, Timothy McVeigh, and Ramzi Youssef discussed religion, politics, and formed a friendship which lasted until McVeigh's execution in 2001.
He was the glue holding that friendship together.
What?
He was the glue holding that friendship together.
I honestly can't see if Youssef and Ted are still friends or not. I don't know. But I know that they were all friends at least until 19 years ago. But Kaczynski's cabin was seized by the U.S. government and was on display in Newseum in Washington, D.C. until that museum actually closed down. So I don't know where the cabin is now officially, like, but I know that like some people were like selling it at one point, and that is something that I would absolutely love to buy someday. But that's just because I want to open up my own museum at some point. But in October 2005, Kaczynski offered to donate 2 rare books to the Melville J. Herskovitz Library of African Studies in Northwestern University's campus in Evanston, Illinois, the location of his first 2 attacks. Northwestern rejected the offer due to already having copies of the works. What?
I don't know why that makes me laugh. Just like, hey, you want these super cool rare books? And they're just like, nah, dude, we got them.
They're not as rare as you think, bitch. Screw you, Kaczynski. This is for trying to bomb some of our fucking professors.
We already got those books because fuck you.
Fucking Kaczynski. On October 2000. Oh, sorry. So, the Libety Collection, part of the University of Michigan Special Collections Library, houses Kaczynski's correspondences with over 400 people since his arrest, including replies, legal documents, publications, and clippings. His writings are among the most popular selections in the University of Michigan Special Collections. The identity of most correspondence will remain sealed until 2049.
Only most.
Years. What?
Only most, though.
Mm-hmm. And in 2012, Kaczynski responded to the Harvard Alumni Association's directory inquiry for the 15th reunion of the class of 1962. He listed his occupation as prisoner and his 8 life sentences as awards.
Cool story, bro.
So that is the life of Theodore Ted Kaczynski.
Teddy boy.
Teddy boy. Imagine those fucking people who are like trying to put together their reunion for class of 1962, and they're like, "Oh, who's replied? Oh, it looks like Ted Kaczynski's replied."
And they're all just like, "Are we sure that was this class?"
He graduated. I remember he graduated with our class.
But did he though?
He did. He was very young. He was only 20. Remember? He was the younger guy. Ted replied. He listed his occupation as prisoner, and under awards it says 8 life sentences.
So we're gonna just throw that one out, right?
Throw that one out, yeah. We don't want that guy here. I mean, it's not like he could even get here anyway, unless, you know, he was like claiming that he had bodies buried somewhere here and the prison officials were trying to find them, and, you know, like Henry Lee Lucas did.
What is it called when you're like allowed to leave prison for like
Furlough.
special circumstances?
Furlough.
Oh, right. Okay. I don't know why I thought it was clemency, but I feel like that's something else. Well, obviously it is something else.
That is something else. No, furlough.
Just like, oh God, what if he gets furloughed for this? Oh, that would fucking be awkward.
I don't think he will. He's got 8 life sentences. Can you just imagine Ted going to like the warden's office and being like, "Hey, I want to apply for furlough."
And they're just like, okay, why?
My college reunion is coming up.
Okay.
So I want to apply for furlough so that I can go to the college reunion and see my old friends.
Oh. Well, we'll take that into consideration. Thank you, Kaczynski.
Can you fucking imagine if they actually gave it to him?
Just like, oh shit, your fucking college reunion.
Yeah, I graduated in 1962. Can you imagine how surprised those guys are going to be when I show up?
Oh shit, we gotta see their fucking faces. Granted.
Thanks, guys! He calls David. He's just like, "Hey, David, guess what? I got furlough."
And David's just like, how?
I told him it was my college reunion.
And it is your college reunion.
Uh-huh. And they gave me furlough so I could go.
So do you need a ride?
Yeah, can you come pick me up in Colorado, please?
Okay, yeah, I'll be right there.
And then you have to drag me to Massachusetts.
Shit. Okay. All right.
I went to Harvard, remember, David? I went to Harvard.
Oh yeah, I remember you, fucking nerd.
Yeah, so you gotta come pick me up at Harvard.
All right, I'll come pick you up and take you to Harvard. It might be a few minutes though, okay?
All right, that's fine. I'll be waiting outside.
All right, love you.
Love you too, David. That's exactly how that would go, we imagine. But if they would never grant furlough to Ted fucking Kaczynski, we will never find out. However, if you follow us on Patreon, you can see us write a letter to Teddy Boy Kaczynski.
Teddy Boy Kaczynski.
Teddy Boy Kaczynski. That'll be upcoming soon. I think we're going to be holding on our Patreon episodes until probably like December when we're on our break. We're going to record a bunch of them during our break, which will be good. Kate, what do you think? That'll be good, right?
I feel like that'll be good when we both have time for sure.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll just like be recording a bunch of episodes for Patreon in December when we're on our break. It's going to be a really fun time. We're going to put up some really good stuff. And in the meantime, Kate, what did you think of Ted Kaczynski?
He's so extra.
He's so extra, right?
He's so fucking dramatic.
Oh my God, right?
Like, he's just one of those fucking guys who just thinks that like he's one of those guys who just thinks that like anything that takes you away from like chopping down trees and eating fucking bugs is like
and
leading to the downfall of humanity. And it's just like, bruh, not every technological advancement
like a caveman.
Just not every technological advancement is dumbing us down, okay? You can relax a little bit.
He's like if cottagecore was way worse than it actually is.
Like if cottagecore was like inherently assholes.
If cottagecore was terrorists.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's like, you know what? It's kind of like if you mix like cottagecore energy with like incel energy.
Oh my God, that's totally it. He's a cottagecore incel.
There we go. We have summed up Teddy Boy.
The cottagecore incel. We gotta call him that now.
Oh my God, yes.
I'm going to write a book about people that we've covered and the names that we've given them.
So we've got Goat Boy.
Goat Boy. I don't know why you still call me Goat Boy. My name Andre. I'm Horse Boy. Goat Boy. You know what? I'm going to write these down right now. I have a pad of paper right here. I don't know whose it is, but it's sitting in my room. Oh, it might be McKenna's. That's all right. I'll go blank page. All right. So we've got Goat Boy. Goat Boy Chikatilo. What is it? Cottagecore Incel?
Cottagecore Incel.
Kaczynski.
Any of the number of colorful things that we call Gary Ridgway.
All I'm writing down is just fuck boy.
That's all I can think of off the top of my head.
That's all I can think of too, but we're gonna give everyone drippy
eye. Tall boy.
Oh yeah, tall boy. But that's spelled Tolboi.
Exactly.
Kemper. We got a comment here from 1010, our one person that watches us consistently on Discord. Wow.
Twitch,
yes. I'm sorry. Our one person who watches us consistently on Twitch saying, did you guys ever cover BTK, specifically his courtroom statements? It was like he was thanking the Academy. That's really interesting. We didn't really cover the courtroom statements on the live show yet. We are going to be re-recording a lot of our episodes for our podcast coming up. Like once I finally make the move over to Las Vegas and I set up a better recording area for myself, one with better audio and everything like that, then we will be re-recording a lot of our episodes. His statements alone are worth an episode. That's good to know. I will write that down. I'm going to write that down right now so that that is on our list of people to recover for the podcast.
Ooh, that was a loud noise.
You okay?
Yeah, I just heard something in the kitchen go thump, like very loudly.
It was probably the cat.
Maybe. I don't know.
But anyways, I think that's all the time that we have for tonight. It is 20 minutes past what we normally go to. So that's definitely the time that we have for tonight. So, and also, we just want to make a statement. Next week's episode, we are going to be doing a one-part episode on Wednesday. And that is the only episode that we're doing next week. So keep an eye out for Wednesday when we do our episode. And then we'll be taking a break for Thanksgiving so that we can spend it with our families. And until then, say goodnight, Kate.
Good night, Kate.
Good night, and don't be a cottagecore incel.